Alrighty folks, I know I'm a little late to the party on this one, but the other day a Borderlands 4 State of Play deep dive took place, so today we're going to be watching it together, reacting to it. Now I won't lie, I have seen small snippets of this, but I haven't seen the entire thing, like, you know, in its entirety. I don't know all the features that are going to be in the game. I've just seen a few small things here and there, so we're going into this mostly blind. So without further ado, let's just go ahead and get into this. Let's make sure the quality and everything's all good. This program contains mature content that may not be suitable for all audiences. As you would expect, it's a Borderlands game. Just to kind of give my history with Borderlands, I've been playing since the first game, love every game in the series, including the Telltale games. Huge Borderlands fan, so I'm really excited to see what this has in store for us.
What use is a vault hunter? What use is a killer? A brute.
This looks really good.
Breaking, loot-taking, running, and gunning natural disaster.
I know it's just a cinematic, but like,
You are, in a word, mayhem. I take that personally.
Oh, here we are, gameplay. The elephant? I'm sorry, there's just so much happening already. I just kind of need to take it all in. You got the little walking guns. Those are from the, how do you pronounce it, like, TDOR manufacturer in the other games. Where, like, you go to reload them and, like, you throw it out and it does, like, a special ability.
Be advised, a citywide curfew has been enacted. Violators will be shot on sight.
Whoa, those enemies look crazy. It's like something out of a Souls game. Whoa, what the? Dang, man. Definitely sets the tone for this whole thing.
Heyo, I'm Randy Pitchford, founder of Gearbox Entertainment. Today, we're giving you our deepest look yet at Borderlands 4. All the excitement, loot, and gnarly carnage all running on PlayStation 5 Pro.
PS5 Pro, okay. I mean, we're not really going to get the full effect of that because...
Since creating the looter-shooter genre nearly 16 years ago, we've continued to refine the formula, delivering better loot, greater freedom, and endless mayhem. With Borderlands 4, we push things even further.
This is hands down our best.
We're watching this through a bit crushed, you know, like live stream or whatever that took place, so it's not going to look as great. It may look a little pixelated compared to like how it would have otherwise.
Borderlands ever. All new movement.
I'm sorry, what did he say?
Further.
This is hands down our best Borderlands ever. All new movement, abilities, bigger and badder enemies, and a brand new planet. All in service of making you feel like a total badass.
It's the perfect entry point for new players with incredible new places and a great story. And for our longtime Borderlands fans, we're throwing back to our more grounded tone while pushing gameplay ahead further than ever before.
That's a bold claim, though. Best
This
Borderlands
is the culmination of years of hard work from my teammates across the Gearbox studios. So enough talk, let's get it. This is Borderlands 4.
I'm not denying it. You know, I'm just saying, like, that's a bold claim, you know. Borderlands 2 still exists, right? Handsome Jack, Butt Stallion, like, we all, like that game still exists, so that's a bold claim to say that this is the best one ever. Again, I'm not denying it. I haven't played the game, so I can't speak as to if it's the best one ever or not, but I'm just saying. I admire the confidence, though. It definitely sets a good precedent for this game. If
Borderlands is an unforgiving sci-fi universe where life is cheap and guns are plentiful.
Millions of guns, as they say.
You play as a vault hunter, a badass mercenary with powerful abilities called action skills.
Today I'm playing as Vex, our new siren.
She looks badass.
She wields supernatural phase energy to devastating effect.
I can see myself playing as
She can
her.
use that energy to empower herself, or channel it to conjure deadly minions that fight alongside her.
So I love playing as the siren characters in Borderlands.
And because everything's better in co-op, I'm joining as Rafa, a former TDOR soldier who wears an experimental exosuit. He can
Exosuit? What is
deconstruct
this,
an arsenal of
Advanced
weapons,
Warfare?
like the razor-sharp arc knives.
These are two of our 4 new Vault Hunters that you can play at launch.
The guy sort of reminds me of Cade from Destiny.
Borderlands 4 takes place on Kairos, an all-new planet steeped in conflict. For thousands of years, the Timekeeper kept the planet hidden,
That's wallpaper
controlling
material.
its inhabitants with bolts, cybernetic implants fused to their spines. Anyone who stepped out of line was brutally crushed by his army of synthetic soldiers known as the Order.
That is until 6 years ago when Elpis showed up. This rogue moon was teleported away from Pandora at the end of Borderlands 3 by the legendary Vault Hunter, Lilith. When it reappeared across the galaxy, it crashed into the protective veil around Kairos. The results were devastating. A planet-wide cataclysmic event that disrupted the Timekeeper's perfect order.
Now people all across Kairos have started rising up, some even ripping out their bolts, and chunks of their brain along with it.
Here it comes!
That's the situation our Vault Hunters have crash-landed into.
Wow. This
A
looks, it
planet
looks
ready
fast.
to explode, and you're the spark.
I mean, you'd obviously expect that from like a next-gen like Borderlands experience, but this looks like big, even compared to the other Borderlands games. Also, there's just one thing in my mind. Do you guys remember like 60-70% maybe of the way through Borderlands 3 when you were doing the one boss fight? I don't want to spoil it in case anybody hasn't played it, but then they cut it midway and said, to be continued in 4. And at first, I mean, I don't know if it got anybody else, but for me, it actually got me. I was like, oh my gosh, they're actually going to make me wait till Borderlands 4 to see what happens next. And it went like 4, 3, 2. I'm sorry, it's just ever since they announced Borderlands 4, I've just been thinking back to that.
As you explore, you'll meet a cast of incredible characters. Fan favorites return, like Zane and Moxie.
Nice, nice.
You'll also meet new friends like Rush.
He's big boy.
And as always, Claptrap is along for the ride.
You gotta have Claptrap.
Last but not least is Echo 4. This helpful drone follows you everywhere, hacking order tech, scanning the environment,
It's like Ghost
and
from
helping
Destiny.
guide you to objectives. But enough of all that. Let's get into the game.
Yeah, that's it. It's funny how he says, enough of that, let's get into the
Thanks
game.
to our improved
But
lobby
technically we are.
system, it's easier than ever to join up with your friends on the fly.
Cool.
And with full crossplay at launch, you can play with your friends on any platform.
I'm assuming this game's gonna be on like Switch, Xbox,
Today,
PlayStation.
we're
so you'll be
venturing into
all
Terminus
consoles,
Range,
PC.
a frigid, mountainous region.
This is just one of the 4 zones on Kairos that you can seamlessly explore. There's next to no loading time, just endless looting and shooting mayhem.
The loading times were always impressive in Borderlands, considering the
For
fact
our
that like, the
current
first two
mission,
games were on
we need to break into
360
a
PS3.
secret black site located deep in the mountains. One of the Timekeeper's generals, Vile Lichter, has been conducting grotesque experiments on locals.
He said the thing, the grotesque, that's me, he said the thing!
It's up to us to stop him.
All right, let's get moving. Here I'm using Glide, one of our new movement abilities. Along with dash, double jump, climbing, and point grapple, these make getting around more fun and add a ton of utility to combat.
Anybody else getting Destiny vibes? That's not a
As you
bad thing.
traverse, you'll uncover a vast and beautiful world. And to bring Kairos to life, we've introduced dynamic weather and events, so you constantly have new things to discover.
Just look, the crosshair is low. You know what other game the crosshair is low in? Destiny. You see like the gliding, like the way the gliding and movement feels, like just like even though I'm not even playing it right now, you can still get a feel for how it feels. It's very Destiny-ish. That's again not a bad thing. It's just an observation.
There's also plenty of local wildlife to contend with, like these Kratch, flying beasts who attack in flocks.
Okay. We sort of we basically had that since like Borderlands 1.
Here we've come across a silo, one of several new activities in Borderlands 4.
Okay, so they have like
You'll naturally discover short gameplay experiences like this all across Kairos.
so basically what we see in any Ubisoft game or like Halo Infinite.
There's no need to pick up a mission first. These are auto-granted and tracked on your HUD.
Yeah, basically.
Silos house old, decommissioned order tech that you can hijack for the Crimson Resistance.
With the help of Echo 4, we'll hack into their network and release the communications balloon.
Probably get some like story stuff here or something like that, like small pieces of text or something. Yeah. It's just like the outpost in like Far Cry or Assassin's Creed, basically. It gives you something to do to interact with in the world, because most Borderlands games are just like main quest, side quest, and not much in between, so that's something.
Now that we're in charge, we can fast travel to the silo. And as a bonus, it's revealed the approximate location of a vault key fragment.
Oh.
We can collect these fragments to unlock a hidden vault, a high-level dungeon with challenging combat and serious loot.
I like that. Okay, that's cool. That's cool. So there's actually like a really good incentive to
Let's
actually
get
do
after
these. So it's not just like a, oh, complete this because complete it. No, it's like, okay, complete this and you'll get some good ass loot. So, you know, that's actually pretty cool. I think that. Sorry, I just want to mouse it on the screen. Still
Another
getting
nice
hardcore
thing
Destiny
about
vibes.
silos is you can zip line up and take off.
I like the HUD though, it's very clean. You got like everything you need to know in the left and bottom right corner. You can see like all your weapons that you got down there and everything. It's very clean. I like it. I don't know where the minimap's at though.
And if that's not fast enough for you, you can always pull out your personal vehicle, the Digirunner.
That's Destiny.
Just hop on, hit boost, and get rolling.
You can customize the body, paint job, and even how it handles.
Okay.
And because this is Borderlands, you best believe it has guns.
Millions.
As you traverse, you'll encounter a host of dynamic events. From order patrols to world bosses, there's always something to shoot and loot.
World bosses is like Elden Ring, Tree Sentinel. Imagine running into like a Tree Sentinel type boss in this game.
All right, we're coming up on an order outpost. Let's see the new movement abilities in action.
This is making me think though, a Destiny-like Borderlands experience where it's not just like a mainline Borderlands game, but it could be like a spin-off of some kind where it's like a live service Borderlands type thing. I'm not saying I necessarily want that. We have like 5 million live
Chaining
service
our new
games as is.
traversal abilities together makes combat more dynamic than ever.
But it,
You can
I mean,
dash
it
in
could
and out
work.
of melee
That's what I'm
attacks,
saying.
dodge projectiles, or quickly reposition to gain an advantage.
I will say it's kind of evident that this isn't gameplay. Like, this is gameplay, but it looks very scripted. Like, I don't think a human is playing this right now. Somebody coded in the exact camera movements, shots, enemy positions, dodges, because this doesn't look like human movement. So the gameplay looks a bit floatier than it probably would, because, like, in real time, if you just listen to, like, the sound effects and the way everything is and, like, the screen shake and everything, this would probably feel at least somewhat gratifying, but because of the fact that this was just scripted beforehand to play out like this, it just feels a little floaty. Unless I'm wrong and somebody actually plays like this, then they have very robotic looking movement. Or very scripted movement, I should say. The gameplay looks fun though. It looks like usual Borderlands stuff, just looks like an iterative version of Borderlands 3. Maybe a little less floaty though, because Borderlands
Now
3
I know
was
that
very
there's
like...
a vault fragment around here somewhere, but we've got a mission to get back to. Let's pull out Echo 4 to show us where to go.
Alright, there's our ghost.
We're meeting up with none other than the Tigra of Partali herself, Amara. She's a former vault hunter and exotic pet sitter from Borderlands 3. She came to Kairos in search of Lilith and is now helping us take down the Timekeeper.
Timekeeper, I guess that's the villain of this game.
Don't you whine at me, homies. We'll play in a moment, huh? Ugh, you agree to pet sit for a few weeks, and the next thing you know, you're having full conversations with animals.
You don't use security like that unless you've got something to hide.
Sorry if
This
you
must
hear
be
my
the
AC
path to
going
the
off.
black side.
Agreed. But if Lilith is on the other side, I don't mind some property destruction.
Ooh, your specialty. Please, be my guest.
Okay, so it looks like there's abilities at the bottom too. You see like right at the bottom it says like L1, R1 in the center of the
Come,
screen.
let's throw some light on this
I
black
guess
site of his.
There's probably like action skills. I still don't know where the minimap's at though. I don't. Maybe that's something you turn on
This
and
place
off.
is crawling with creeps. Clear them out.
It's just
Co-op
sort of.
has always been at the heart of Borderlands, and we've put a ton of work into making it better than ever. Our improved lobby was just the start. You can also set your own campaign difficulty independently of the rest of the party. This way,
Oh.
everyone can tune the experience to their liking.
That's good.
And you don't have to worry about loot ninjas stealing your drops, as loot is always instanced for each player. Plus, if you ever get split up, you can easily fast travel to your friends.
And two-player split screen returns so you can enjoy couch co-op. Regardless of how you play, we just want you to be able to hang with your buddies and have a great time.
Hell yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I like the fact that you can like change the difficulty independent of your party as well. Sorry for pausing so much. It's just I don't want to cut them off when they're talking. But like, for example, I like playing games with my younger brother sometimes, but he's not necessarily, you know, he hasn't like really played Borderlands before, so he might find this style of game to be a bit more
What
challenging.
the hell is that?
And a giant monster right here. But, you know, like, he's played a lot of Call of Duty, but I don't know how well he would do with Borderlands, for example. So if I'd want to play with him, he could set his to easy while I could play on, like, normal. Or whatever. Just then everybody can enjoy the game together. I like that.
Everyone else the talking creep, right?
Tim feels like the product of Lictor's twisted mind. Another of his experiments. If he's doing this to creeps, I shudder to think what he's doing to Lilith. We need to get inside. That air vent. Let's check it out.
I'm really excited for this game, dude. I've been waiting for this game since Borderlands 3 came out. It's gonna be awesome, man. It does look really good. Like, this looks fucking
really
awesome.
creeped out in here. Not me, obviously.
Whoa.
Hermes.
That looks gnarly.
Now that we're in the black site, let's take a moment to talk about loot.
Like all that like growth on the wall or whatever.
In Borderlands 4, each piece of
This is how you do an RPG menu. It's not overly complex. Everything is just laid out very well. You know, they haven't even talked about it yet, and I'll already be able to tell you what everything is, basically. You got your 4 weapons up here. These look to be, like, probably grenades of some kind, or maybe I'm mistaken, and these are the grenades down here, and then these are, like, skills of some kind. You know what I mean? It's very clean. It's not overly cluttered. You'll love to see it.
of gear comes from one of 8 manufacturers with their own characteristics and trademarks. There's Jacobs, with crit-friendly black powder weapons.
I love the Jacobs
The elemental
guns.
expertise of Maliwan.
Yep.
Vladoff, who solve lower accuracy with more
Super
bullets.
fast fire rate, yep.
The toss to reload
that's what I was talking
TDR.
about before.
Or Torg with explosions.
Yep.
We also have 3 new ones. The Order with powerful charge and release blasts.
I'm not one for
fully
charge
auto
shots.
rippers. And the reliable, easy-to-use Daedalus, which can use multiple ammo types.
So good all around.
But that's just the start. We've introduced an all-new licensed parts system. This allows for behaviors and abilities from multiple manufacturers to spawn in a single weapon.
So it's like Modern Warfare 3 aftermarket
this flat-off
parts.
assault rifle features a Torg mag, Hyperion shield, and a Maliwan elemental switch, meaning it shoots fast and explodes things. The higher the rarity, the more parts that can randomly spawn, creating wilder and wilder loot.
So, like,
And
a
that's-
legendary weapon could have a mix of Jacobs, Maliwan, Torg, etc., and it's, like, kind of RNG. But I mean, I think that's cool. That could lead to some, like, really cool combinations of weapons that are just extremely overpowered if you get lucky.
4 even getting into alt-fire modes, underbarrels, and elemental damage.
There's the walking gun that we saw
The
earlier.
possibilities are truly endless.
It sounds like it. Like, they really took the loot
To
to the next
support
level
playing
here.
with your favorite manufacturer, we've added enhancements. This new type of gear replaces artifacts and provides bonuses to specific manufacturers.
So they're placing more
Take
of
my
an...
current enhancement. It adds a kill bonus to all guns with Daedalus parts, along with more reload speed and critical damage.
So they're placing more of an importance on not only the manufacturers in this game, but also, like, kind of optimizing your build around them. So it's like, hey, if you want to go Jacobs, you can really optimize your build and say, you know, use these different, I forget what they call them, not artifacts, but, you know, whatever they are, just say modifications, to really hone in on that build or that playstyle. That's really cool. They're really stepping things up on the RPG side of things, too.
This
along
lets
with
you
the loot
min-max
general.
your build around your favorite manufacturer, immediately turning just okay guns into amazing
guns.
weapons.
Yeah.
Finally, we've heard your feedback, and we've overhauled our drop rates and loot across the game. We've worked hard to make sure all our gear feels better than ever, while also making rarity matter again. This makes for our most satisfying loot chase ever.
Plus legendaries,
And
probably.
at the top of everything are legendaries. These have always had unique effects that you won't find on any other piece of gear. But in Borderlands 3, they drop too often.
Yeah, there was, like...
This not only devalued legendaries, it made everything feel less valuable.
Yeah, because it's
In
like,
our
why
new
would I use
system,
anything else if I
not
have, like,
only-
this really powerful gun right off the rip?
Do all guns feel great, but now legendaries will truly be special events. We've added the magic back to our loot chase.
I just
and
hope-
we know you'll love grinding all that great gear on Kairos.
I just hope the legendaries aren't too rare to where you gotta wait, like, you know, you gotta grind your soul out to get it. Like, there's a nice balance between making it rare, but then just making it a complete pain in the ass. And then, you know, like in some games like Diablo or like, you know, like in Borderlands 3, I do remember there was a lot of legendaries in that game when you compare it to, like, you know, 2, 1, or even pre-sequel.
But let's get back to combat so I can show you my favorite thing,
Oh, there's
Ordnance. This is the new gear slot for grenades and heavy weapons like rocket launchers. Instead of taking up a gun slot and ammo, Ordnance now has cooldown timers. No more saving the big guns for boss fights. Now you can blow stuff up as often as you want.
There's a cooldown on it too, so it's like a rage ability or whatever, like a alt, whatever you want to call it. That's pretty cool.
Before we go further, let's talk a little bit about action skills.
Yes, please.
Every Vault Hunter has a set of 3 unique action skills. These are class-defining abilities with devastating effects.
Yes.
Up until now, I'd been using Incarnate to deliver powerful phase blasts. But let's switch it up to Phase Familiar and pull out Trouble.
Joined by her
As you
minion.
can see, each action skill has its own branching skill tree, giving you more build freedom than ever before.
Do like a
On top of
necromancer
passive
build.
skills, you can further customize action skills with augments and capstones. These are socketed enhancements that add new behaviors and functions to your action skill.
Different builds completely change how combat plays out, resulting in near endless freedom to experiment. You can swap unlock augments or capstones on the fly, or completely respec your skill trees at hubs around Kairos.
So there's basically, you got 4 different characters and 3 of these different skills per character, which means you got 12 different skills in total on top of all the different passive abilities and upgrades throughout this. So there's going to be a lot of different playstyles and ways to approach this game, and I think that's freaking awesome. It'll be a nightmare from the balancing side of things for the dev team, and I'm sure there's going to be a lot of updates after the game comes out. Maybe. I mean, I don't know how well they have it tuned in or whatever, but that just sounds awesome.
This gives us a chance to talk about traits. Each Vault Hunter has a unique passive ability called a trait. For Vex, her action skills attune to the element of her equipped weapon. So by swapping guns, I can change Trouble's damage from kinetic to shock, fire, or any other elemental type.
That's pretty cool.
And also, you can pet the cat.
Dead end. Or is it? Let's see where this vent takes us.
Game of the year. You can pet the cat. That's all I need to hear.
God. Are those test tubes?
I like that they're just giving us a moment to kind of like get a feel for the combat. Yeah, like I said, it's very obviously scripted, but it still looks good. Again, I love seeing how the art style has evolved from like Borderlands 1 to now. Like, it's still very much cel-shaded, but I don't know, this game looks a little less comic booky. Like, it still looks comic booky, but I feel like I don't know if it's because the black outlines are thinner now or just because it's like more detailed.
I'm down. But thankfully, our fight for your life mechanic makes a return.
Good.
Of course, I could have avoided it in the first place if I had just used my ref kit.
Or if you would have just got good.
This new piece of gear provides health and other buffs, like temporarily boosting my elemental damage, rate of fire, or movement speed.
Can you boost your movement speed while using that giant like
I'm
bolt
almost
gun?
afraid to ask what's in the tube.
Oh, look at these guys. Are those crystals growing out of them?
By the way, if you're looking to experience the story again or just grind for loot, we've added full mission and boss replay. That's right, no more save loading to run bosses. Now you can return to the arena and use Moxie's big encore machine to spawn another run.
Thank you.
But we'll talk more about endgame later.
Thank you.
For now, let's jump ahead and show you something truly badass. In Borderlands 4, our bosses are bigger and better than ever, putting all your new skills, gear, and abilities to the ultimate test.
Dude, that looks so fucking cool. I'm not even gonna lie, that looks so fucking cool. Holy shit.
Whoa, 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 spoilers. That's enough of that for now. But we look forward to showing you much more this June at our first hands-on gameplay event.
Dude, I'm actually crying right now. That is like, they're happy tears, don't worry. This looks sick.
And from everyone at Gearbox, thank you for joining us.
I mean, oh, is that the cover? Oh, coming September 12th. Dude. Oh, hold on. Let's just get back to the cover art for a minute. Break free. Oh my gosh, dude, this looks so good. Just some of my final thoughts here. Okay, it has PS5 listed there. I was hoping it would show off some of the other consoles. I know this is just like a state of play thing. I was hoping they show off, like, sorry, I slept like crap last night, I'm really tired. I was hoping they show off, like, Xbox, PC, Switch, all that, so we could know what else is coming to. I'm sure it'll come to those other consoles then. First off, that, I like the cover art. It's kind of like a callback to the original, Borderlands, obviously, because it's, like, red-themed, and obviously that's what the color scheme of the original one was. But, dude, I mean, I don't even know what to say after all that. The things that I said before about the game looking like Destiny do still stand. I feel like it was just because of the environment that they showed it off in, right? Like, kind of like the dull, drab color palette, kind of akin to something that you would see in Destiny, just because that game tends to have a bit more of a more dreary color palette. You got this thing here, this, like, vehicle thing, very much something from Destiny. You got the Echo, which is basically just, like, Ghost from Destiny, so, you know, that still kind of applies. But once they started branching off and showing the things outside of this environment, like, honestly, I feel like to give off less Destiny vibes, they probably should have showed off just some more gameplay, like, stuff like, well, I'm sorry, the color palette. I don't know, in some instances, the color palette looks very, like, nice and saturated, but in other ones, it looks like a bit, like, drab and dreary. It's not bad either way, if it's drab or dreary or saturated or whatever. I'm just saying that when it comes to the drab and dreary environments, just because of the way the game looks, it gives off some Destiny vibes. But yeah, if I could give just some of my final thoughts on some of the things that they talked about. I mean, first, like, the bosses look absolutely insane. The one that they showed off with the giant hands, you know what it made me think of? It made me think of the... I don't want to give any, like, spoilers or anything like that in case anybody hasn't played it before, but you know the one boss from Ocarina of Time with, like, the hands or whatever? Like, that's what that made me think of. If you played the game, you know who I'm talking about. But... yeah, I don't know, you got that, and then, like, the alt abilities or whatever, we got, like, that giant gun. It looked like it had a 20 to 30 second cooldown, so I have a feeling that'll come in clutch in boss fights if you, like, optimize it correctly, and they were saying there's different buffs for, like, movement speed or attack speed or whatever, so I'm sure that would be really good. I also really like the fact that they readjusted the drop rates for certain weapons, right? Because there was a lot of legendaries in Borderlands 3 that would drop. And similar to what I was saying before, right? Like, you want to strike that nice balance between, okay, legendaries are rare and feel really rewarding when you get them, but you also, you obviously don't want them to drop too often, but you also don't want them to be so rare that they're genuinely a pain in the ass that nobody wants to go for. So hopefully they found that right balance, and even if not, you know, once the millions of players in the world get their hands on the game, they'll be able to play it, and Gearbox, I'm sure, will go in and, you know, patch the game and adjust things accordingly. And beyond that, I also like the fact that they're really honing in on the different manufacturers in the game, because obviously in previous Borderlands games, the manufacturer really wasn't too important. It was just like, okay, the weapons made by this manufacturer will have certain properties, they'll handle a certain way, they might have certain abilities, like I was talking before with the TDR, or however you say that. You know, the one where you, like, you reload the gun, you throw it out, and it, like, does a special ability or something like that. But in this game, you got those different, you know, modifiers and parts that you can equip to the weapon to really amplify that weapon if it's from a certain manufacturer, so you can really hone in on that build if you like a certain type. Because like I mentioned before, I like the TDR weapons as well as the Jacobs weapons. I also really like the way that the menus look in general. Like, everything looks very clean and laid out. It's like, okay, you have your character here, you got your Echo over here, you got your weapons, your grenades, your skills or whatever, and then, like, that's just it. And it's just, you know, it's a very clean interface. You can also see, like, what modifiers you have attached to your weapons here, what color rarity they are and all that, and I just feel like overall the game looks very clean. Obviously has that classic Borderlands cel-shaded style, and as I mentioned before, since the game is a lot more detailed now compared to, say, like something like Borderlands 1 or 2, obviously, the game, I don't know, just when you look at it, it looks more realistic, I guess, and less... like, you almost can't tell it's cel-shaded at first until you really look at it. I don't know if it's just because the black outlines on things are smaller now or thinner now, or if it's just, again, because things are so much more detailed. It's not a bad thing, again, it's just an observation, but it is still very much so Borderlands. And that leads me to my final thing here, is I'm just really happy to have another Borderlands game, because there is no other game really like Borderlands when it comes to... I just realized that my camera died while I was yapping. I'm gonna... Give me a minute to clear up some storage. I have no idea how long it's been dead for. But anyway, as I was mentioning before, you know, there's really no other game like Borderlands when it comes to the sense of humor, the attitude of the game, and I'm just really excited to see how their humor has evolved since Borderlands 3, because obviously Borderlands 3 was like over half a decade ago at this point, so... like, it's kind of hard with Borderlands, right? Because sometimes the humor in the game is sort of not necessarily pop culture-y, but it is kind of, like, relevant to things that are relevant at the moment sometimes, in a way. It's hard to explain, because the humor in Borderlands is timeless, but when you get to something like Borderlands 3, it's a little dicey, because it's like, okay, some of the humor was relevant to that time, but is still able to be understood and relevant today. So, I don't know. I'm really curious and excited to see how they handle, like, the humor in this game and such. And as I was talking about before, I still never saw a minimap. I know I was going on and on about that, but it's just, you know, when I'm playing a game like Borderlands, I like to have a minimap. So I'm assuming there's a way to turn it on. I don't think they would just completely do away with the minimap, but, you know, that remains to be seen, I suppose. Otherwise, I really only have good things to say about the game. Like, it genuinely looks great, and the game releases September 12th, so you already know I'm picking it up day one, physical copy. I'm super excited for it, and yeah, that's really it. I think that's all I gotta say. I'm really excited, and we'll get that gameplay, you know, more like gameplay previews and footage there in June, so, you know, if anything comes out of that, we'll take a look at that as well, but yeah, again, I know I was a few days late to watching this, so, you know, I apologize for the wait, but hopefully you guys still enjoyed watching this alongside me and seeing my reactions and hearing my thoughts and everything regardless. But anyways, always massive shout out, thank you to all the patrons and channel members to get on the low ball tier, and a big shout out to the wall team, asking ME10 many, big shout out on G tier, run a bit so much, girl, thank you guys so much, you guys are literal legends, I love you. Goranidodaki arigatou gozaimasu. Have an amazing day, stay beautiful, I love you all, peace.